Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Dana and this is the Prairie Knitter podcast. Welcome and thank you for joining me. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed and watched my previous videos and left me beautiful comments. I adore all of you. This is my co-host, Odette, or Odie for short. She is my almost 14. She'll be 14 in a month. So basically 14. So long-haired Chihuahua. Let's start off with what I am wearing. As you kind of guessed, it's a knitting podcast. We talk about all things knitting. Yay! Anyway, so this is the Celeste Pullover by Sari Nordland. I've knit this pattern twice. This is my first one. And then I knit a second one in like a vibrant pink color with a slightly smaller gauge. I went down a needle size for that one. This one I knit in Hidden Pond yarn in her Dreamy Decay base in her colorway Pretty Petal. So it's kind of this mauvey, purpley pink background with hints of yellow in there. I don't know if it's coming out. Different bases look different. This is a non-superwash base. It's 70% alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere. So things start to blend together quite nicely in this base. It's gorgeous, beautiful. Like, look at this drape. Anyway, so that's what I am wearing. Go check it out. I definitely highly recommend this pattern. It is gorgeous. It looks very complicated, but honestly, you just go row by row. There's one chart, you follow it. It's not that hard, I promise you. There are a lot of these little baubles, but she's got it. It's a different way of doing a bauble. It turns out this little tiny little berry bauble, I call it. Very different than a usual bauble, so definitely worth checking out. I find these quite easy to make, and you make a lot of them, so that's a good thing. Anyways, moving on to finished objects. So last time I showed you a test knit that I was working on, and I have finished it. So it is called the Tula Sweater by Knit Sisu. So it's got this beautiful eyelet sleeve that's quite wide. Her picture of her wearing her version didn't show such a wide sleeve, so definitely check out everyone's project pages on it to see the sleeve size and if you like that. I love it. I love how it turned out. The pattern's not released yet. Once it does get released, I will post about it on my Instagram, which is ThePrairieKnitter, and as well on my Ravelry page. Same name, ThePrairieKnitter. It's not up yet. If you go searching for it, you won't find it, but it will be out soon. So I did this sweater using Hidden Pond yarns in her Dreamy Sock base. So it's the same as the DK one that I'm wearing, but in a fingering weight. So the colorway I chose was Antique Pink. And I paired it with a Surrey from Woolberry Fiber Co. This one's called Sandcastle. So it's this gorgeous kind of muted beigey pink color. I would call it a beige leaning pink. It's got bits of pink in it. Stunning, love it. So with these two together, you get this. So that is my one finished object. I have a lot of projects on the go. Nothing's been really getting a lot of love. I know I mentioned a few projects in past videos. Haven't touched them, so I won't be showing them today because they haven't moved. I really got to get on that. But I've got kind of this urge to cast on all the things right now, which I'm loving. I haven't had much knitting inspiration over the summer. I find I get a lot of inspiration scrolling through Instagram, but this summer has been showing me tank tops, t-shirts, a lot of cottons. Not really my thing. I like the fall and the winter sweaters. So now that we're getting into fall, I'm starting to see a lot of calls for test knits with sweaters that are inspiring me. Now I just want to cast them all on. So speaking of test knits, I am doing another test knit right now. It is called Bloom Where You're Planted by Graphic Knits. Haley Hodge is the designer, and you can't tell, you can't see it on here. Part of me is like, why did I sign up for this? Because I want it, and I know the only way I'm going to go through the work of all these cable and lace charts is if it's a test knit. Otherwise I will cut corners and not do half the pattern. So I'm in the test knit, have to do it. I'll show you a picture of her wearing her version so you can get an idea of what it's going to look like when it's done. So as you can see, it's got a cable-y lace pattern down the front, down the sleeves, it travels under the arms, down the sides, it's all over. And it's stunning. I'm just in the yoke right now, so I'm following 3 different charts at this moment, which is a little daunting. I've got them all printed out in front of me. I've got highlighters, row counters, and everything ends on different numbers and repeats and all over the place. I will add notes to my Ravelry page when it's up about how I follow the charts, but it is a very complicated knit, definitely for advanced knitters for sure, but a little complicated in some of the stitches, but easy enough to follow that once you do it if you do it once, it's okay. It's okay. It can be done, but definitely not a beginner pattern. Definitely not an intro to cables or lace work. So I've chosen this green color. It's a mix of 2 yarns again. So I have this Hidden Pond Yarns Dreamy Socks of fingering weight yarn in Evergreen Tree Farm. And I am holding it with a Surrey yarn. So you can tell I love this combo. I love Surrey. Better than mohair, I will say. Given the option, Surrey. So this is Explorer Knits and Fibers. So American, I think she's Colorado based. In her fur color, F-I-R, fur. So these 2 together, I think they go really well. They both got a bit of variegation to them, a little bit lighter spots, a little bit darker spots, and it just blends together. You gotta feel this, like, this is so soft, so soft. I love this combo so much. I will use it till I die. Now, the only thing we need is Hidden Pond yarns to carry a Surrey. She only has mohair. If she had Surrey, just like, take my money, all of it. All of it. My entire paycheck is yours. Anyways, okay, so that is the only work in progress that I'm currently working on. The test knit is due October 1st, so I've got just over a month to finish it. I should be done with that, no problem. I'm trying to do 10 rows a day is my goal. 10 rows a day. Until I get to the sleeves, then maybe I'll do 20 rows a day, but for now, 10 rows a day, I should get it done. I'm on like row 30? 35. I'm on row 35 right now of the yoke. So ways to go. We're getting there. Anyways, as I mentioned earlier, I just want to cast on all the projects. So I did sign up for another test knit that is due November 18th. So I've got a lot more time for that one. So I'm not worried about it yet. That one is called the Halftone Pullover, and it is by Indigo Knits. Is what she calls herself over on Instagram. So that one, I'll show you a picture of it. So it's a two-tone sweater, so a darker color on top, lighter on bottom, some color work in the middle. Some people are going the opposite and doing light on top, dark in the middle. I've kind of chosen very similar tones, like very similar shades, but very different color for mine, so I hope it turns out. I'm going to do a swatch, but all right, let me show you the yarn. So this is my colors. It is from Lela Bella. I bought this 10 years ago in Venice, Italy. It is 100% cashmere. It's a lace weight yarn. The pattern calls for fingering, so I'm going to be holding it together with mohair. This is from Rowan. It's Kidsilk Haze. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. And an orange and a yellow. So that's the orange on top, yellow on bottom. That's the plan. Now, this yarn, this took me an hour to wind up. It's 100% cashmere, lace weight, and it just breaks. Like, you can't put it on a yarn swift and use a ball winder. The tension that it creates just snaps the yarn. So I've got it set up on my swift, and I'm unwinding it by hand, like moving the swift itself and getting it off, and then winding it a little bit, doing it again, and it still snaps like, I don't know, a dozen times on it. It gets all knotted. It's in a hank rather than a skein, so it's a mess, complete mess. So it took me an hour to wind this, so I'll do this one tomorrow, I think, or maybe later if I hate myself. We'll see, but that is it. That'll be my next project. Now I'm actually going on another trip to Italy in October for 2 weeks. So I'm flying into Venice, and then I've got a conference for work in Prato, which is just about half an hour north of Florence, and then we're flying out of Milan to get back home. So like I said, this project is due November 18th. It's a lace plus a lace, so fingering weight, so it will take me quite a while. It's got quite the tight gauge. Knowing me, because I'm a loose knitter, I'll probably have to go down to zeros or double zeros for my needle size. So I'll probably still be working on it while I'm in Italy. So that'll be exciting to take it back to Venice with me. I will definitely take a picture of it before I leave so they can know that, you know, in customs, that I didn't buy it on this trip, but I brought it with me because it is made in Italy. All right. That's my next project. Now, there is another pattern that was just released yesterday. It's on for 20% off this weekend, and I love it. I just had to buy it right away. I want to cast on so badly, but I'm telling myself no. But that might not work. I might just cast it on if I make up my mind on what yarn to use for it. It is called I've already printed it off and everything. It is called the Before Fall Sweater by Liv Oven. She is Woodlands Knits over on Instagram. So let me show you a picture of that one. So it is, again, a raglan sweater. It's got some ribbing that goes down the sides under the arms, and it's got seed stitch for the front panel. So I'm just like all over fall right now. I love that yellow. I wish I had that yellow, but I don't have enough of this yellow. So I don't know. I'm trying to decide what color yarn to use it with. It calls for, she uses knitted in. I don't have any knitted in. I don't use knitted in. So she says you can substitute it out with a worsted weight yarn. I'm thinking maybe I can get away with a DK plus a Surrey or a worsted weight yarn. So here are my options so far. So I've had this in my stash forever. It is Illimani Royal 1. It is 100% royal alpaca. And then it's kind of like a green. It's a green. It's more of a blue than a yellow green, but it's green. So that one, it's worsted weight. Or I've got this one, Illimani Baby Llama. So it's 100% Baby Llama in this gray. Now, I don't know, it's worsted, but I maybe hold it with a mohair or hold it with a suri. I don't have a mohair or a suri to go with these, but perhaps I can purchase one. That will delay me in ordering. Or I've got this Knit Picks Wonder Fluff. And this gorgeous orange, which is just fall, screams fall to me. It is a bulky weight, but I think I could get gauge with it. It's just so light too. It is 70% baby alpaca, 23% nylon, 7% merino wool, and it's just, I don't know if I want to use it for this sweater or use it for another snowy forest. I showed in my last podcast my finished snowy forest. Love it. I wanted it in a burnt orange, so this is the only burnt orange I have right now. But I am holding my breath, crossing my fingers that the yarn that I used for my snowy forest, that the designer comes out with a burnt orange in it. So I don't know if I wait or I don't know. This. Fourth option, I've got this suri in this beautiful golden yellow. It is from Explore Knits and Fibers in her Celtic Harp. This was part of her Ireland collection. I don't have, like I would have to get a DK weight to go with it. So I'd order from Hidden Pond Yarns in her Dreamy DK base. Probably in her golden hour. I think her golden hour colorway would match this. There's my phone. Let's see if I can pull it up. There it is. So I think those will go really well together. Just a dream. I do that. Or another option, I have a lot of this color. It is called Creme Brulee by Hidden Pond Yarns. Again, her Dreamy DK base. It is just these gorgeous, like, creams, light brown with brown speckles in it. And I would hold it with her undyed mohair. Now, I did start a project with the creme brulee. I've decided I don't like it. I'm going to rip it out. But this is what it looks like knit up. Yeah. Probably going to pull that out. Anyways. Those are my options. I have no idea which way I'm leaning yet. All I know is I just want all the fall. I made so many collages with different yarn combinations with all the fall colors. I'm dying over here for fall colors. I just want burnt orange, bright yellow, not bright yellow, mustard yellows. Couple of other yarn combinations that I have been drooling over from Hidden Pond Yarns, and I'm thinking I'll purchase one of them or all of them to do a couple shawls or scarves for the winter. So this is one combo. It's Earthling, Folklore, and Spice Market in, so I would get it in Dreamy DK by Hidden Pond Yarns. Or she just posted another color combo. That is just screaming fall Halloween to me. Let me see, there it is. So it's a barista, toasted marshmallow, and glowing embers. Now, on her website, glowing embers looks more yellow, but here it looks more orange. So I'll have to ask her what it actually looks like in person, because photographs sometimes are wrong, but I think a three-tone shawl would be gorgeous. Speaking of shawls, I had been planning to do a half and half triangles wrap by Pearl Soho, but I have taken the yarn. So I was originally, and I purchased this already, going to do it with this color combo. It is Evergreen Tree Farm, held with Lavender Cappuccino. However, I've taken the Evergreen Tree Farm for the work in progress that I'm currently working on, so I don't have it anymore. I can always order more, start with this color and work my way, get the green when I'm there in the project, but I got too many dreams right now and not enough hands to knit. As I mentioned earlier, I've been very busy in the garden. It's harvest time. Everything is getting ready at the same time. I've got my carrots to deal with. I've got my beets to take care of. I've already pulled up all my potatoes. My tomatoes are ready. I've got apples falling out of my tree, and I got to do something with all of it. So we just got ourselves a pressure canner, so we've been playing around with that. We pressure canned some corn this week, and it just smells delicious. I love corn. So I'll probably have more of that to do. I've also started a new project that something I've been wanting to do pretty much my whole life. Like me in like grade 1 even, I dreamt about doing this. I've always wanted to write a book. Always wanted to be an author. I used to dream of being the youngest published author, but I'm old now. Older. I'm older now. I'm not that young. There's definitely younger authors out there. But I've had this story idea for a while, and I'm starting to, I plotted it out. I'm working on characterization. I'm reading books on novel writing to learn the craft a bit better. I did take creative writing back in university, but that was a long time ago. So it's been a while since I've actually written anything. But a friend of mine and I started kind of like a little writing circle where we have this one prompt. So it was one line, one sentence, and we had to include it in a short story. So I finished mine. She's still working on hers. We're going to switch and read each other's and give feedback once she's done. But that's just sort of sparked this creative journey for me, and I'm really excited. It's going to be intense. I do work. I work in healthcare. I own my own private practice, so I do work about 3 to 4 days a week. So my weekends will be spent working on my writing project, and I'm giving myself a 5-year deadline. So it's going to be intense. I've got 5 years to finish this book with all my knitting. So we'll see. I know there's been days where I didn't even touch my knitting needles because I was busy reading about writing or working on my plot and things like that. So that is another project of mine, another creative love. I did dabble in some painting recently too, so that's fun. Anyways, that is all I have for you today. Join me hopefully 2 weeks from now, maybe 3. We'll see what I actually decided to knit. All right, anyways, take care everyone. Happy knitting. Bye.